And the cameras are working, letting everybody know here. Good afternoon and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, October 15th, 2019. I am John Hutchings, the chair of the board, and to my left is Vice Chair Gary Edwards. To my right, Commissioner Ty Menser. To his right, the clerk of the board, La Bonita Bomar. And over on the bench, to her right, is County Manager Romero Chavez, and to his right is Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Elizabeth Petrich. And with that, I'm going to turn to Vice Chair Gary Edwards to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, if you'd join me, please. And if you lose your place, it's on the wall. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I look for a motion to approve today's agenda.
I would move to approve the agenda for October 15th, 2019.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve today's agenda. Any changes, amendments?
No, sir.
No? Nope. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. That's approved. And a motion to approve the board meeting minutes from October 8, 2019.
And I would move to approve the board meetings from October 8th, 2019.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the board meeting minutes from last week. Any changes?
No, sir.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That carries. Now it takes us to item number 1 on the agenda, opportunity for the public to address the board.
We're not proclaiming anything today?
No, we're not no, except we're proclaiming it's going to be a long day. Still, we have a couple public hearings this evening.
All right.
I know it seems like the agenda looks empty.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's an illusion. So the Board of County Commissioners, we welcome comments from the public, and this is the time to do that. But here are some governing guidelines. This is our time for the board to listen to the public and not for us to engage in question and answer, debate and such, or opine on things. We'll listen to you, take comments down, we'll take notes, and staff may follow up on what you may have to offer. So we don't expect us to respond. Speakers are limited to a total of 3 minutes, and the timer is up on the wall, and our clerk of the board, La Bonita Bomar, has the timer. It'll time down and chime when you're through. You're not allowed to donate your time to another speaker, and we reserve the right to restrict a person's opportunity to address the board for good cause. If you haven't already, please silence your cell phones. We ask that you not make any comments that are lewd or offensive to a reasonable person. We ask that you be respectful and not inflammatory, hateful, defamatory.
Very timely.
Yeah, it's funny. Or discriminatory comments, no outbursts of any kind, and no comments that are commercial in nature, such as a promotion for a for-profit business. And any remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters that could eventually come before the board on appeal wouldn't be appropriate. And any and all material that you submit excuse me, to the county may be considered public record, subject to public release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 42.56 of the RCW. When I call you to the podium, please introduce yourself and where you live, and address the board, not the audience. And I'll call you up in order as you have signed up. So coming up first is Jerry Durker, followed by I'm going to guess Barack. Dang nabbit. Well, that little letter, I can't tell if it's an A or an O. Then by Barack Ale. Thank you. Go ahead, Jerry.
Good morning, or good afternoon, pardon me. Sorry, I've been up part of the night. I had I'm an old man and I get rough nights. And so I'm here to speak to you about a couple of things. One, I have to let you know that I believe you've got a problem having Chamber of Commerce memberships, okay, and the interactions with the Chamber of Commerce. Under the Save a Valuable Environment versus the City of Bothell, 89 Washington 2nd, 862, the Supreme Court of this state found that the appearance of fairness doctrine is violated, any planning commission recommendation, any zoning ordinance based upon that are vitiated when a disinterested party is fully appraised of the totality of a planning commission member's personal interest that would be justified in thinking that partiality may exist. In this case, they found that having a membership in the Chamber of Commerce, especially a partnership as you guys now have with the shared legislative partnership agenda, as well as in other ways, that makes it so that puts you guys in an appearance of fairness doctrine problem. And I know you guys have already the county has had a problem with that appearance of fairness doctrine, and there was a $12 or more million judgment against you for that. And so I just hope that you guys fix that. And then the other thing is I got to let you know that I did refile a complaint with the Public Disclosure Commission that I had filed here 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, in February of 2018, and that mentioned that you guys were using various different places for lobbying activities for the legislature. But the problem is that you guys haven't filed a Public Disclosure Commission filing on those kinds of lobbying activities for the Shared Legislative Agenda Partnership, for the Counties Association, or any of those things since 2012. And that's a pretty serious problem and stuff. And I did tell your prosecuting attorney's office about that here when I was getting records here a year and more ago. And so I thought that they were just going to take care of that, but apparently it hasn't been taken care of. I just looked at the Public Disclosure Commission's website. So please see if we can fix those problems. And sorry I had to refile that thing, but they apparently lost it somewhere after the Attorney General decided to move it over. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Next is Barack Gale. I apologize for messing up your name, followed by John Pettit.
Thank you, Commissioners. I want to tell you about an amazing event that I attended.
Introduce yourself, please.
Oh, I'm Barack Gale,
And address.
a citizen of Tumwater, 1038 Ebbets Drive, Southwest Tumwater.
Thank you.
I want to tell you about an amazing event that I attended together with over 2,000 people, a good fraction of them high school students and middle school students, and that was the climate strike at the Capitol steps in Olympia on September 20th. These youth orchestrated the entire event on their own with speeches, with music, and with a letter writing campaign. And I have over 600 cards signed, many of them with comments urging the 4 jurisdictions, including Thurston County, to accelerate, to fast track the Thurston Climate Mitigation Plan. So I'm going to submit those to you, and I'd like to read the message to the council members of Olympia, Lacey, and Tumwater, and the commissioners of Thurston County. Thank you for your commitment to the Thurston Climate Mitigation Plan. For us at the Youth Climate Strike, our future, our survival depends on effective action. Please, I really would like everybody to look at me while I'm talking. It would really be good for connection. We understand action costs money. We urge you to expedite the plan, find new sources of revenue, and adjust your budget. We don't have 2 years. We don't have even 1 year. The House is on fire, as Greta Thunberg says, and we must act now. The IPCC, the United Nations panel, noted the decisions we make today are critical in ensuring a safe and sustainable world for everyone, both now and in the future. We are already seeing unprecedented drought. By the way, there was widespread drought in Washington declared earlier this year. And wildfire smoke, look what's happening in Los Angeles now. Now is the time to act. with moral courage. In particular, we would like to see all the jurisdictions, including the county, do things that are lower hanging fruit. Basically, let me just mention this. The key element would be to incorporate climate change as a key element in all county decisions. And just
Thank
one
you.
comment, let us live, from a middle school student.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time. Really appreciate your attention.
Thank
Who do
you.
I give this to?
Over here,
Thank you,
John
sir.
Pettit.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is John Pettit. I live out Rich Road, East Olympia. I have a couple little things which I want to cover quick because we only have a few minutes. But the first thing is I'm going to encourage you might grab a pencil in your hand so I can talk to you about a small little item. Part of your proposed courthouse process is to suggest that the City of Olympia would be participating. According to the actual plan, the actual costs related to the courthouse location down there in the City of Olympia, their portion would be $22,274,134. As of today, they still have made no commitment. In fact, I was looking back at some of the information, and it was July of last year when they were talking cooperatively about doing things, and they've done nothing. So, but of course, the thought is they might want to do a lease situation with the county. Let me explain. 45,000 square feet for that $22,274,000, it would equate to a annual payment in bond payments of $1,425,000. Now, on top of that, you have to have the maintenance on the building like we haven't been doing as much here as we should. That'd be another $445,000. So the very basic cost, no utilities involved, would be $1,870,000. That the cost would be for the county to have that portion of building for them. The current rental rate for any type of office space runs about $2 a square foot right now per year. So $2 a square foot, 45,000 square feet, $900,000 a year, they'd be looking at paying for rent. Is there a reason why the county would think that they should help and cover the cost of $900,000 extra for the City of Olympia out of our budget? I can't imagine. I can't imagine why the county would supplement the city's budget for that space. I don't know why we're even looking at it. My last little part I want to deal with is, in case you haven't noticed, I'm sure you may have seen something, I have a petition online through the social media. And that petition is kind of unique because it provides public comment, or their comments on the side of it. And right now, this particular one, which I'm ready to hand over to you, has 331 comments on it right now. And I want to be assured that all of these comments will be considered as part of the public comment related to the coming hearing on next Tuesday. So I think my time is up. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That exhausts the list of folks that have signed up. Is there anybody in the gallery that would like to address the board that hasn't spoken yet? Anyone? Anyone? All right, thank you. That takes us to item number 2 on the agenda, the county manager's update.
I don't have any specific updates for you today, Commissioners.
All righty, sir. Takes us to agenda item number 3, consent items A through D.
I would move to pass consent items A through D as listed.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept or approve consent items A through D. Any further discussion on these items?
No, sir.
Nope. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Department item number 4, Community Planning and Economic Development, authorizing the History Book Grant Program. Jeremy Davis, Operations Manager.
Good afternoon, Chair Hutchings, Commissioners.
afternoon.
Jeremy Davis, Thurston County Community Planning and Economic Development. And as Chair Hutchings said, I'm here to request the board make a motion to establish a history book grant program to be administered by the Thurston County Historic Commission and the Community Planning and Economic Development Department. The Water, Woods, and Prairies book was completed this past spring by the Thurston County Historic Commission and published by Thurston County. Thurston County staff has worked with the Historic Commission, the book authors, and others on this book since 2013. So it's a long and coming publication for the public to see. There are about 240 softbound books and 225 hardbound books that would be a part of the grant. And typically, the Historic Commission will give a grant of funds to a given group. In this case, we're giving a grant of books. Both of these items are funded by a Thurston County auditor's fee, a recording fee that's collected for the specific purpose of historic preservation in Thurston County and providing that education to the public of to Thurston County citizens. So it's not a fund that can be used for other purposes. The mission of the book grant itself, in keeping with the intent of the funding, is designed to provide knowledge of Thurston County's history through the sale of the Water, Woods, and Prairies book to the citizens of Thurston County, but also using any proceeds of those sales for educational programs. So who's eligible for this grant? Right now it's geared towards nonprofit and other government entities. We're excluding for-profit entities in this case because it is that dedicated funding source. Those that would be considered are also those who can actually conduct retail sales. We as a county don't do retail sales. We're trying to find a partner to do that for us. Some of the application requirements to go with this is we're going to be looking for a marketing and publicity plan, a distribution and secure storage of those materials, and we're going to want to see what educational programs that group is going to propose to do with the proceeds or with the book as part of the grant. And we're also going to look for a budget to go with it. Our proposed timeline on this is to open it up as soon as possible and hopefully close it by early November. And then we'll work with the Historic Commission members and also the book's editors and authors to bring this to the board for a final award date. And we'll probably bring them in on that date to kind of introduce them to the board and provide copies to you for your use as a county commissioner. The award period for this grant would go until December 2021. And interested parties on this grant can contact Sonia Cady at 360-867-2117 or sonia.cady@co.thurston.wa.us. And we'll also be publishing all of this information on our website and contacting any interested parties that we may have heard of as this has been in development. I want to say on a personal note that in working with the authors on this, it's very personally valuable to those that are doing historic research in Thurston County and looking at families, and I have to do this because it's kind of fun. And talking about historic families, Commissioner Edwards' family, if I'm not mistaken, is mentioned in the book with the Coney and Edwards for the Lake Lawrence area. And so we do have our local historic family over here on the commissioners. So, and that was for the purchasing the land around the Lake Lawrence area after 1900, and then renting boats and starting in the 1920s, if I'm not mistaken. So his family's a part of this book.
So you can't vote.
Recuse myself, I suppose.
That's way cool you did that. Thank you, Jeremy, for that. Any questions or comments?
Well, after that, I can't question anything Jeremy says now.
I have a couple questions. Number one, would you hold the book up for the camera and read the title for the public?
Oh, sorry about that. It's Thurston County Water, Woods, and Prairies, Essays on the History of Washington's Capital County. And the editors are Sandra Crowell, Shirley Sterling, and there are quite a few authors that were involved in the development of this book.
And only one that is deceased since the publication, that'd be Les Eldridge?
I believe that's correct.
Sharon
It's two.
Matthews, I think, is deceased as well.
I think there's two.
Why don't you hold it up?
Yeah, hold it now for the, they weren't on you at that point. Now they are going to get on you in just a quick moment here. They should, there we go.
I can't see behind me, so.
So I can't wait
They'll move.
for this to come out, because I need to buy a couple of these as gifts. Thank you, Jeremy. All right. Is there a motion?
I would move to authorize the creation of a history book grant program to be administered by the Thurston County Historic Commission and the Community Planning and Economic Development Department to further public education on Thurston County history.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to authorize the history book grant program. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Nope. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Commissioners. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Jeremy. Next is agenda item number 5, Public Works, setting a public hearing to consider amendments to Chapter 15.06, Storm and Surface Water Utility Rates. Water Resource Program Manager Tim Wilson. Oh, Zaid, how are you?
Hi. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Zainab Najati, Thurston County Public Works. The Thurston County Storm and Surface Water Utility was created by the Board of County Commissioners in 1985 to address localized flooding and erosion caused by increasing development activities. Recently, it was determined that language within the code could be construed as sunsetting the Storm and Surface Water Utility in 2019. Staff conducted a review of the existing chapter to determine proposed updates which would eliminate this ambiguity. As part of the review process, the staff also identified other opportunities for clarification and realignment of the chapter with the original intent of the Storm and Surface Water Utility. These proposed changes would clarify that the Storm and Surface Water Utility rates extend beyond 2019, provide clarity in language, and create equity amongst stormwater ratepayers. These updates have been reviewed and approved by the prosecuting attorney. So we're requesting that the Board of County Commissioners consider setting a public hearing for November 5th, 2019 to hear public comments on these proposed changes.
All right, any questions or comments?
No, we had several good discussions about this. There's
We've
some
been over it quite a bit.
complicated
and,
pieces of it, but I support the hearing.
Hear what the public has to say about it coming up.
Good, okay, so is there a motion?
I would move to set a public hearing for Tuesday, November 5th, 2019 at 3 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard at the Thurston County Courthouse, Building 1, Room 280, to accept and consider public comments on proposed changes to Thurston County Code, Chapter 15.06, Storm and Surface Water Utility Rates.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to set a public hearing to hear these amendments. Chapter 15.06, Storm and Surface Water Utility Rates. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much. And agenda item number 6, County Manager approve system of rates and charges for the Thurston Conservation District.
Thank you, Commissioners. As a matter of background, the Thurston Conservation District is a governmental subdivision of the state of Washington organized under Chapter 89.08 of the RCW, Revised Code of Washington, to provide for the protection of the public health, safety, and welfare, including protection and conservation of natural resources for participating cities and towns in the unincorporated areas of Thurston County, for the municipalities of Lacey, Olympia, and Tumwater, and those portions of the municipalities of Rainier, Tenino, and Yelm within the Thurston Conservation District as of their boundaries established in 1947. The Revised Code of Washington 89.08409 authorizes the legislative authority, the Board of County Commissioners, to approve a system of rates and charges for conservation districts to fund activities and programs to conserve natural resources and other exercises of authority for the public health, safety, and welfare as authorized by law. Pursuant RCW 89.08400 and 405, the Thurston Conservation District conducted a public hearing on their proposal on June 20, 2019. The Board of Supervisors of the Thurston Conservation District passed resolution number 2019-11 on July 2, 2019 to approve and submit a proposed system of rates and charges to the Board of County Commissioners for their consideration. Also, the Board of Supervisors of the Thurston Conservation District passed resolution number 2019-12, also on July 2nd, 2009, to provide a process for individual property owners to appeal a rate and charges applied to their parcel and property. The Board of County Commissioners approved rates and charges for 2019 under ordinances number 15686 and 15723 to support the district's proposed programs. The approved system of rates and charges ends on December 31st, 2019, and that is why this proposal is before you again. Pursuant RCW 8908-400 and 405, the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners must conduct a public hearing. The public hearing was held on September 24, 2019 in this room at 5:30. The advertisement for the public hearing was advertised on August 29 and September 5th on the Nisqually Valley News, also on the Olympian on August 29 and September 12th and 19th of 2019. We also posted physical postings of the public hearing of September 24, 2019 on the Yelm Food Co-op, East Side Olympia Food Co-op, West Side Olympia Food Co-op, Tenino Post Office, Rainier Post Office, Tambora Library, Lacey Library, and Olympia Library. You receive a total of 53 comments, both in writing leading to the public hearing as well as public testimony on September 24th. Out of the 53 public testimony you received, one was in opposition of the rates and charges, and one was related to supporting the rates and charges with modification related to the voting of the Board of Supervisors, which is out of your purview at this point. So the proposal before you today, you have met all the legal requirements stated leading to this point. And for your proposal is for you to consider implementing a system of the rates and charges for the Thurston Conservation District for collection for the years of 2020 to 2024. That will be a 5-year period. That's all I have for you, unless you have any questions.
Yeah, any questions or comments?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
I don't have a question.
I thought we were going to take a vote on whether we approved of rates and charges and then the length of time to be applied towards rates and
At this point,
charges.
it's one of the same. So you, if you may recall, 2 weeks ago during a board session, which was televised, the conversation with the board was provided direction to staff to bring an ordinance today, and it was unanimous to implement a raise in charges. But also the majority of the board, it was a 2-to-1 vote to bring the same resolution that includes a 5-year term.
So we thumbs up the rates and charges
Bumped it
and then
in.
combined it.
Okay, so even though I supported going ahead with rates and charges, now we're going to determine how many years, is that right?
Correct. That's correct.
Well, may I speak?
Certainly, yeah.
I guess I'd like to raise my concern about the length of time that we might okay this. About half of the conservation districts in the state of Washington do not use rates and charges. They fund their activities through other ways. My concern is that although the conservation district is doing good work now, in the past, it's not always done good work, and I would refer to our paper of record, which is the Daily Olympian. If anybody wanted to look back over the last 20 years, you would see that there have been numerous problems, And we seem to have been getting by those problems now because currently things seem to be going well. But therein lies the problem for me. We've had a past that was a problem, and we've got currently, which is doing well. But if we approve this for too many years, then we've got the future that we don't know anything about what might take place in the future. And will we revert back to problems? I don't know. And this is potentially about $10 million of tax money, because a lot of the times the folks at the Conservation District will leverage what they've got here to bring in more money to do good work. And I would hope that would continue all the time. But we don't know that. And if we go for too many years, I mean, I'm in favor of 2 years, because a couple of years ago we did 1 year to see if they couldn't kind of get their act together, which seems to have been accomplished. I'd like to see us go to 2 years. And I don't think it's much of a problem to come back to this board to explain to us what they've been doing. I don't know, a couple hours of time, I suppose, to come here and tell us what's been going on. And then we could reassess. But the way it is, any time that we allot to the collection of this tax, there is no way to rescind that. So my concern is oversight. I've said the folks now seem to be doing well. I would hope that will continue, but if it doesn't continue, we have no recourse. If we go, and I'm going to say 2 years, because if we go more than 2 years, then where do you draw the line? I think 2 years would be an adequate test to carry on. And maybe in 2 years, the Board of County Commissioners would choose to move it to 3 years or 5 years. But I don't think we've got a long enough history of doing good. We've got a year's history of doing pretty good. There's still some issues pending that haven't been adjudicated yet. But nonetheless, I think the Conservation District does good work. So I guess after my seatmates get a chance to have a say in this matter, then I'm prepared to make a motion.
In response to what you just said, you have always been an advocate for watching out for the taxpayers' dollars.
Yes, sir.
And so I applaud your approving the rates and charges. And it's just the duration of the time. So thank you for that. Any comments? Or you okay with making the motion? You want Ty to make the motion?
No, I can make the motion.
Okay.
But maybe I won't get a second. I'm going to make a motion to approve this for 2 years.
Well, let's have Ty do it and save time.
Okay.
So if I
fine
may,
with
procedurally, I believe Commissioner Edwards would like to offer a friendly amendment to the motion. And the amendment.
Well, we can see if that gets a second.
Yep.
Is that what you're
Okay.
saying,
Yep.
sir?
So the amendment, I believe, is for the board to consider a 2 year. That will be 2020 and 2021.
That is the friendly amendment.
Yep.
That I would like to make, that the board entertain approving rates and charges for 2 years.
They will have a second on that friendly amendment.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
So the original motion is still for your
So we'll do
consideration.
the original motion.
Go ahead, Ty.
I could make a friendly amendment to fund the Conservation District for 10 years, because I made that motion at our planning session and it didn't pass. But that was the period of time that the Conservation District had traditionally been funded, and that 10-year period expired in 2017. I have that right. 18, they didn't have funding. 19 was funded for a year. I don't think it's right to say that there's no supervision of the Conservation District. They have a board of supervisors. Some are elected, some are appointed. There's a various discussions about how that process could be improved. Great. But there is a board of supervisors that oversees directly the work of the Conservation District. That board is overseen by the State Conservation Commission, and we've seen that process play out. And when there have been issues, mainly of an administrative nature, the good work of the Conservation Commission continues. Board of County Commissioners doesn't always do good work, but we don't disband the Board of County Commissioners. The work has to be done. The conservation work in this county has to be done. The projects are there, the partnerships are there, the leverage of the funds are there. The work is always been productive and important, and I don't see a point in putting them on, scaling them back at this point. They've worked through the issues that they had 2 years ago, and I won't make that motion because we kind of went through that process in our board session. Commissioner Hutchings made a motion for 5 years. As an alternative to my motion, I support that. So at this point, I'm going to move to approve an ordinance relating to approving a system of rates and charges for the Thurston Conservation District on properties in those portions of unincorporated Thurston County, the municipalities of Lacey, Olympia, and Tumwater, and those portions of the municipalities of Rainier, Tenino, and Yelm within the Thurston Conservation District as of their boundaries established in 1947 for collection in 2020 through 2024.
Second. So it's been moved and seconded to approve the systems of rates and charges for the Thurston Conservation District. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Nope.
Yes. Because it was 2 years, 1 or 2 years, 10 years, and I went with the recommendation of the Thurston Conservation District, and they recommended 5 years. And I thought that was very reasonable in between, a compromise in between. So that's why I made the motion for 5 years. So, okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm going to abstain.
Abstain? One abstention? Okay. Motion carries.
And I might note that I am abstaining because I'm not opposed to the funding, I'm just opposed to the duration.
Got it. Thank you. Now comes the time for commissioners to report back on work sessions and assigned committees. And we'll start with, you want to start, Gary? Thank you.
Holy mackerel. Do you want me to go through a large list?
It's entirely up to you. You've got the
Okay.
floor.
Went to Big Brothers Big Sisters, quite a big fundraiser, and they raised a lot of money for a very good cause. Attended a community Grange function, both down at Skookumchuck and South Union. And went to a homeless meeting out at Yelm. Communicated with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife folks in Washington, D.C. over the gopher issue and future mitigation process that we hope to get finished at some point. And spent a lot of time working on excess nitrogen through commercial fertilizer application in the Cascade Range that applies probably to several million acres that is held by private timber interests. And that is approved through the Department of Ecology and overseen by the Department of Natural Resources. And my concern is that the headwaters of all the rivers that flow into the Puget Sound area out of the Cascades are affected by this. And there is quite the speculation that, thousands of tons of excess nitrogen fertilizer, which is not native, is very detrimental to the Puget Sound, but not only the Puget Sound, all the way down from the headwaters through that natural environment until it reaches the Puget Sound. And we've heard a lot about the orca and salmon and such. So I'm really trying to put a lot of energy into dealing with this particular issue. Recently, there's some science that looks like we might be able to get away from chemical application of compounds like the nitrogen fertilizer that they use, because we do have plants out there, legumes and Scotch broom and alder and things like that that are nitrogen fixers. And they're doing a lot of work towards developing hybrids that other trees that will be able to benefit from the nitrogen in the air. And that's how these legumes do it. So a lot of research, a lot of communicating with people that are concerned. And I know you folks are concerned as well, but that took up a lot of my time this last week.
Wow.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Commissioner Mensah.
Thanks. Community events-wise, I was at a Thurston County Chamber Forum, as we all were last week. I attended a Community Farmland Trust fundraiser over the weekend, but mainly just digging into a lot of written material that is before me in particular. I've got the strategic plan for intercity transit I've been working through, animal services, budget, and policy, and then our comprehensive plan, going through the written comments on that, and then working on agriculture and criminal justice issues, preparing for this week's Law and Justice Council meeting, and just agriculture issues seem to be flying around from every direction. So I've been doing my best to get up to speed on how we can better preserve farmland in Thurston County.
All right. And what I have done, I'll just limit it to this. I attended the Thurston County Chamber Forum. It was a candidate forum luncheon, and the Port of Olympia candidates spoke, as did the mayoral candidates for Olympia. And even at a luncheon like that, before and after, you have constituents coming up and wanting to talk about various hot button items. And so you're always switched on and engaged, which is kind of fun. Yesterday was our Community Investment Partnership meeting, and we're right in between funding cycles right now. So we're cleaning up some wording and preparing for the next funding cycle coming up. That involves all the jurisdictions in the county. And then tonight we're scheduled, in fact, I think all three of us are scheduled for the 5th annual 100 Men Who Care About Domestic Violence, hence the purple ribbon. But we have a public hearing, and I don't think any of us are going to make it. We probably made our $100 donation, but we're not going to attend. But that still means it's a commitment. Still, we care about ending domestic violence. So with that, I am done, and I turn to the county manager.
Thank you, Commissioners. Let me walk you through your combined schedule for the upcoming week. The appointments that are going to be part of my report is where at least 2 commissioners will be present. You may have individual appointments on your individual calendars, will not be part of my report. Beginning this afternoon, 3 o'clock, you have a public hearing where you will be receiving public testimony related to proposed changes to the Thurston County Code 2.02, which is related to regular and special meetings of the Board of County Commissioners. 5:30 this afternoon, you have another public hearing, and that is related for receiving public testimony on the proposed comprehensive plan periodic updates. Wednesday, October 16, tomorrow, you have your regular elected officials luncheon meeting, will be held in this room. In the afternoon, you have a briefing related to the Washington's Wastewater Agency Resource Network and a proposed mutual aid agreement with them. At 2:30 in the afternoon tomorrow, you have a follow-up on the comprehensive plan periodic update. Well, you will be having staff going through at a high level some of the comments you have received so far, written testimony, as well as the comments that you will be receiving this evening. As a result of that briefing, then it will be scheduling a series of additional work sessions, perhaps, where all the comments shall be vetted in order for you to be an informed decision when the time comes. On Thursday, October 17th, you have invited to participate on the Tom Water Principles Emergency Fund. That is going to be located on the West Black Lake, I believe in the high school.
Black Hills High School.
Black Hills High School, thank you. Also on Thursday, October 17th, is a day-long event, what we call is the Joint Base Lewis McCord Day of Service, where servicemen from the JBLM come and provide a volunteer hours to help Thurston County community. Commissioner Edwards and myself will be attending on welcoming the service men and women, 8:30. That will be at the Thurston County Fairgrounds. And also Commissioner Hutchins, Commissioner Edwards, I believe Commissioner Menser, and myself are scheduled to deliver lunch to those servicemen and women across the county. Thursday, October 17th at 1 in the afternoon, you have Commissioner Menser, Commissioner Hutchins. They have the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization Governing Board meeting, which is going to be located on the Woodland Square Loop Southeast in Lacey. Friday, October 18th, you have been invited to participate on the study group in the south part of the county. And on Friday, October 18th, you have been also invited to participate in the North Thurston Education Foundation 17th Annual Because of You luncheon. That's what it is. Moving on to next week. Nothing on your combined schedule on Monday, October 21st, Tuesday, October 22nd, you will convene back here at 9 in the morning to go through your agenda setting, to review the agenda of that day and the following week. Then you will have your board meeting at 2 in the afternoon on October 22nd. 3 in the afternoon, October 22nd, you have 2 public hearings back to back. One is related to Initiative 976. And the other one is a public hearing related to public testimony on the 6-year transportation program. And on October 22nd at 5:30 in the afternoon, you have a public hearing related to a proposed ordinance related to the proposed courthouse and regional administrative center project. That's all I have for you.
Good. Look forward to that. 2 more public hearings. 2 back to back.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else for the good of the order?
No.
No, sir.
This BoCC meeting for October 15, 2019 is adjourned.
We'll be back here in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Sure.